Hello everyone and welcome to Quantum Universum. As you've already guessed from the title, today I want to explore with you the astrological sky of Robert Francis Prevost. We don't yet know his exact time of birth, but even without that information, we can still gather valuable insights, such as the position of the planets in the signs, planetary yogas, the ruling planet of the birthday, and the moon's nakshatra, if the moon remained in the same nakshatra throughout the day. What we cannot determine with certainty for now is the ascendant, the planetary houses, and the divisional charts, which are very sensitive to the time of birth. However, we do know the exact time of his election, so we can use that chart as a symbolic natal chart for his papacy, while the chart for the day of his birth, without time, still gives us important clues about who he is. Once the exact birth time is publicly released, we will be able to delve deeper into the aspects we currently cannot analyze. What you see here is the birth chart overlaid with the transits for the day of his election. The first thing that stands out is the strong planetary dominance in the sign of Leo. We have the Sun, Moon, Mars, and Pluto. Leo is the sign of Dharma, leadership, royalty, and the heart. The presence of the Sun, Moon, and Mars here suggests a soul born to lead spiritually, with heart, authority, and strength. Moreover, the Sun is this Pope's Atmakaraka. We find the Nakshatra Magga for both the Moon and Pluto. This is the nakshatra of spiritual thrones, lineage, inherited power. It's associated with ancestors, reverence for tradition, and a divine royal mission. The Sun's nakshatra is Uttara Falguni, and as mentioned, it is also his Atmakaraka. Having the Atmakaraka here indicates a generous, responsible solar nature acting for the collective good. Uttara Falguni is connected to Vishnu, linking this pope to the role of a protective guide. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, in the nakshatra Ashlesha. This points to an immensely powerful spiritual guide and significant religious influence. Ashlesha is a mysterious nakshatra linked to Kundalini and occult wisdom. This position grants deep intuition and spiritual charisma. In Virgo, we find Mercury in Chitra and Venus in Uttara Falguni. This reflects refined, ethical, and practical communications skills. Venus at the beginning of Virgo, its sign of debilitation, could indicate detachment from material pleasures, suggesting spiritual renunciation as a value. Saturn is exalted in Libra in the nakshatra Vishaka. This speaks of great endurance over time, karmic justice, and historical responsibility. Vishaka is a nakshatra of dual paths and often marks a major turning point in life, a karmic choice. Here, it indicates a profound and demanding spiritual mission. Then we have the Rahu-Ketu axis in Jyeshta and Mrigashira. This indicates a significant karmic life. Jyeshta, the chief of the gods, with Rahu here, suggests spiritual ambition or hidden power to be purified. Ketu in Mrigashira points to a curious and mystical mind connected to Dharma. On the day of his election, May 8, 2025, at 6:07 p.m. in Rome, several key points emerge regarding the planetary transits. The Sun is in Aries, and here the Sun is exalted. It stands as a perfect symbol of divine kingship and radiant authority, a powerful sign for the beginning of a strong, enlightened papacy. Jupiter is in Taurus, extremely close to his natal Ketu. This is a powerful karmic signal. It represents an awakening of Dharma connected to past lives. Jupiter, transiting over natal Ketu, bridges his spiritual past with the present. The Moon is in Virgo with Ketu. The Moon with Ketu in transit suggests emotional detachment from the material world, a strong spiritual focus, and a readiness for sacrifice. Rahu is in Pisces, directly opposite natal Ketu. This is another major sign of karmic awakening. The Rahu-Ketu opposition activates the natal axis. It is a moment of powerful soul destiny. Saturn and Neptune are both in Pisces. This papacy begins in a time where spiritual idealism and collective responsibility merge. Saturn demands structure. Neptune brings compassion. Mars is in Cancer, a sign of its debilitation. This suggests emotional challenges or inner conflicts, but also courage to defend the vulnerable. What we can already observe, based on the information we have, is that Leo the 14th is a solar soul in service of Dharma. This new pope is born with the sun in Uttara Phalguni in Leo, a majestic and noble placement. The sun, as his Atmakaraka, reveals the true essence of his incarnation. Uttara Phalguni is protected by Aryaman, the deity of duty, honor, protection, and sacred bonds. The Pope fully embodies these values, a moral leader, a shepherd, a servant of Dharma. Having the Atmakaraka in its own sign, Leo, shows that this soul has already matured through royal and spiritual experiences, and now is called to use authority not for personal power, but in service of the divine plan. There is a strong leonine imprint in his chart, pointing to a spiritual leadership mission. The planetary concentration in Leo, Sun, Moon, Mars, Pluto, describes a character born to lead. He is brave, dignified, idealistic, but also protective, loyal, and honorable. With the moon in Maga, he carries a deep connection to tradition, ancestors, and spiritual lineage, a soul chosen to continue a sacred legacy. We also see signs of occult wisdom and deep compassion. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer in Ashlesha. This grants natural spiritual authority, love for the people, compassionate teaching, and quiet charisma. But Ashlesha is complex. It is serpentine, linked to mystery, kundalini, and mental control. This pope may access profound, subtle truths and act as a catalyst for collective awakening. Saturn is exalted in Libra in Vishaka. This powerfully reinforces his karmic duty, spiritual discipline, and historical role. Vishaka marks a point where the soul had to choose between the world and spirit. Becoming pope is the fulfillment of that choice. We then return to the Rahu-Ketu axis, which speaks of power and renunciation. Rahu in Jyeshtha, Scorpio, reveals karmic desire for influence, deep transformation, and hidden spiritual power. Rahu here brings complex collective missions. Ketu in Mrigashira, Taurus, shows detachment from material wealth, a quest for subtle truth, mystical insight, and a stripping away of ego. This axis suggests his incarnation is deeply karmic, a soul here to close cycles and redeem the past through word, faith, and humble service. A perfect karmic activation at the time of his election. May 8, 2025 is an astrological portal strikingly aligned with his chart. Exalted Sun in Aries is a symbol of renewed divine leadership and radiant new beginnings. Jupiter conjunct Natal Ketu, reactivation of spiritual karma, marking the end of one cycle and the start of another, now on a global scale. Rahu and Ketu exactly opposite their natal signs. His karmic axis is fully reawakened, as if the heavens pressed a button to activate his soul's deeper purpose. In Vedic astrology, this alignment often signals that a long-foretold spiritual event is unfolding, something the soul has awaited for lifetimes. At the time of election, the moon was in Virgo, right next to Ketu. This transit touched his natal Venus, awakening a profound spiritual sensitivity, a drive to serve with purity and devotion, and a release of personal desires. It's as if, in that very moment, his calling to heal and guide with selfless love was activated. In his first speech, he spoke of being a bridge, and from all we've seen, he truly is a bridge between heaven and earth. This papacy is the fulfillment of an ancient dharma to serve with light, justice, and heart, carrying the spiritual and collective weight of a world in crisis. The new Pope is a soul born to lead with light and compassion. His is a royal and spiritual mission, combining inner strength with humble service. He will be a bridge between past and future, between authority and heart, ready to renew without forgetting the roots. His election is no coincidence. It happened precisely when his personal destiny and the collective karma of humanity aligned, like a perfect design in the sky. That's all for today. As I mentioned, when the Pope's exact birth time becomes available, we'll return to deepen our analysis. Until then, I send you a warm embrace and thank you for being here. See you very soon in the next video.